So 2022 has come to an end, and there has been lot of positives for Indian cricket in 2022, and also lot of heartbreaks during this year for Indian cricket. So why not let's rewind and find out what happened for Indian cricket in this year 2022. So starting from the South African series which commenced in January, so India were leading the test series 1-0, and then suddenly Virat Kohli was injured for the second test match, and KL Rahul was appointed as the skipper, and from there on India went on to lose the test series 1-2. And after that things were not looking good between Virat Kohli and the bigwigs of the BCCI, and eventually Virat Kohli had stepped down as captain of the Indian Test team as well. But remember, before that, Virat Kohli was sacked from the ODI captaincy by the BCCI selectors, and so with this, the legacy of Virat Kohli, the captain, has come to an end in January 2022. And I think it has to be mentioned here that Virat Kohli has been the most successful Indian Test captain ever in history, because he was a leader who never went for a draw. He wanted all of his teammates to fight it out, to battle it out, and yes, his motto was always to go for the win, even if you lose a couple of test matches. And so after that, it was Rohit Sharma who was handed the full-time captaincy of all the three formats, be it the one days, the T20 and the test captain. So the hitman was appointed as the new leader to lead Indian team forward. And after that, India had to play a 3-match ODI series, and KL Rahul was the skipper for that series, and India lost that series as well. And soon after, they had to play some bilateral series against West Indies, then Sri Lanka, then they had to play a bilateral against South Africa at home, against Australia, and in England as well they had played some bilateral T20s, ODIs, and India had almost won all the series barring the series against Bangladesh, which concluded recently, where India lost the ODI series 2-1. And yes, so in between India had to play the abandoned 5th test match, which did not go on last year due to COVID outbreak in the camp, and so India had to come back to England to play the 5th test match. It was Virat Kohli who led India to a series lead of 2-1, and the 5th match was at stake and the series was at stake. And yes, unfortunately, Rohit Sharma was also injured, and eventually it was Jasprit Bumrah who led Indian team for the 5th test match, and then baseball theory by England. I mean, phenomenal batting by England. They were relentless and they took the attack against the Indian bowlers, and Johnny Bairstow, I mean, he answered fire with fire, and England eventually won the 5th test match, and that denied India a series victory in England's soil. And after that, like, India had won all the bilateral series, they were bilateral bullies, but come the major tournaments, the Asia Cup, India lost to Pakistan and Sri Lanka in the Super 4s, and they were knocked out of the Asia Cup. And after that, within 2 months' time, India had to play ICC T20 World Cup, and then again India faltered at the semi-finals, and that too England had humiliated India by defeating them by 10 wickets. I mean, would you believe, in a semi-final game, India getting defeated by 10 wickets? And soon after, there were a lot of question marks against the captaincy of Rohit Sharma, and also some of the senior players, their futures were being questioned, and eventually the selection committee, which was led by Chetan Sharma, was sacked soon after the ICC T20 World Cup. And also along the way, BCCI President Sourav Ganguly's tenure was over, and it was Roger Binney who was appointed as the new president of the BCCI. And yes, after the World Cup debacle, things were very clear. The selection committee, the BCCI president also were involved in team meetings and to dissect what happened in that World Cup campaign. And yes, after that, Rohit Sharma has been removed as the T20I skipper, and going forward, it will be Hardik Pandya who will be leading Team India in the shortest format of the game. And coming to the IPL 2022, two new entrants in this year's IPL. It was Gujarat Titans and Lucknow Super Giants, which was led by Hardik Pandya and KL Rahul respectively. And for the very first time ever, Gujarat Titans defeated Rajasthan Royals in the finals, and they clinched the IPL 2022. Now let's take a look at the top performers for the Indian team in 2022. So starting with the one-day internationals, Shreyas Iyer was the top scorer. He scored 724 runs in this year with an astonishing average of 55.6. That was phenomenal batting by Shreyas Iyer. And then the top wicket taker, to everyone's surprise, it was Mohammad Siraj, who picked up 24 ODI wickets in this year. Coming to the test matches, it was Rishabh Pant who was the torch bearer for India, scoring 680 runs with an average of 61. I mean, he has been the best batsman for India in test matches in this year. And then Jasprit Bumrah picking up 22 wickets in test matches. He is the top bowler for India in test matches. And now coming to the T20 internationals, it was a year for Surya Kumar Yadav, scoring 1,164 runs with 68 sixes, and mind you, he scored 2 centuries as well, and he also reached to the pinnacle of T20I world rankings. I mean, he is the #1 T20I batsman in the world. And then for the bowlers, it was Bhuvneshwar Kumar who picked up the most wickets with 37 T20 wickets this year. Now let's take a look at some of the brilliant individual performances which were showcased by the Indian team during the last 12 months. Ravindra Jadeja scoring a brilliant, a magnificent 175 against Sri Lanka in a test match in Mohali at the Punjab Cricket Association Stadium. Then Deepak Huda, he scored the fine century, his maiden century against Ireland in a T20 match in Dublin, scoring 104 runs opening with Sanju Samson. And number 3, none other than Surya Kumar Yadav, scoring 117 runs of just 55 balls, his maiden T20 100 against England at Trent Bridge in Nottingham. Jasprit Bumrah picking up 6 wickets for just 19 runs against England at the Oval London in a one-day international. Rishabh Pant scoring a swashbuckling 125 run knock against England in a one-day international at the Old Trafford. And then he also scored a fantastic knock of 146 runs at the 5th test match against England in Edgbaston. Shubman Gill, finally he's realizing his potential. He scored a brilliant 130 against Zimbabwe at the Harare Sports Club in Harare. And then the long awaited wait for the 71st International 100. for Virat Kohli. I mean, the whole world was waiting when Virat Kohli will score his 71st international ton, and there it came against Afghanistan, scoring 122 runs in Dubai at the Asia Cup. And also, he followed it up with the innings of the century, scoring 82 runs against Pakistan at the MCG. I mean, those two sixes of Haris Rauf. Who can ever forget? I cannot ever forget. Can you forget those two brilliant sixes? Straight down the ground, one straight down the ground and one flicked at behind square. I mean, it was a fabulous innings by the king, which helped India defeat Pakistan in the opening match of the T20 World Cup. Surya Kumar Yadav once again scoring his second T20 international century, scoring 111 of just 51 deliveries against New Zealand at the Bay Oval. Then the record-breaking double hundred by Ishan Kishan, the fastest double hundred ever. He scored 210 in just 131 balls against Bangladesh in Chittagong in a one-day international.
Jasprit Bumrah scoring 35 runs against Stuart Broad in the 5th Test match against England in Edgbaston.
So I have picked my best top performances by the Indian cricket team players in this year 2022. What's your favorite one? Let me know by typing in your comments in the comment section. As we come to the end of this year 2022, there are some important series, important tournaments which are lined up for India in 2023. Starting from the Border Gavaskar Trophy, the 4 test matches against Australia are very crucial if India needs to qualify for that World Test Championship final to be played in England in 2023. And yes, this is a World Cup year which is coming in 2023. So October, November, the World Cup will be played in India, and India should definitely field their best possible 11 starting from January itself, so that the 11 players, they get the confidence of at least 9 to 10 months heading into the World Cup. And yes, as the year has come to an end, it's very unfortunate that Indian swashbuckling wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant, he met with an accident on the 30th of December when he was traveling from Delhi to his home in Uttarakhand. Fortunately, he is now out of danger and we are now praying for his speedy recovery. My prayers and wishes for him and his family as well. Come back strong, champ. You are a champion on the field and off the field as well. With this, I am signing off for the year 2022, and yes, hopefully Indian cricket will bring lots of smiles and glories in the coming year 2023. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.